Okay, Peter, explain on.
We're in the Gatineau Park in Quebec, Canada, on the 18th, I think, or 19th of September, 2007. On a fine late summer evening, or late summer afternoon. And we're standing on a break between the PreCambrian shield, which are all these hills, and the flat plain below. There's 1 billion years difference in age between the rocks on the flat plain and these high rolling hills.
And what is the action that's occurring?
The river we see over there is called the Ottawa River, or the River Outaouais, Rivière Outaouais. And you can see below in the farm fields that bales of hay have been prepared. That's the lumps you see on the green patches. This is dairy farming country below us.
And tell me what's going on with the earth, that they're so different. Is one going under the other, or one is just upwelling?
The Precambrian rocks, the hills, are very, very old mountains that 1.4 billion years in age. And they used to be very high mountains, at least you know, in terms of more than 1,000 meters above sea level. Currently we're about 350 meters above sea level.
But why is there a difference? Is one landmass moving under the other, or
this
pressed up through the earth?
This region was a deep valley that got filled in by sediment.
With the Ice Age?
So yes, you can see in the far distance there's not cloud. That's actually another set of hills, not unlike these.
So the ice sheet came down here?
Well, the ice age actually covered over top of all of this. It was about 3 kilometers thick.
Did it come down the valley or over the top?
No, it came over the mountains.
Wow, over the mountains. Okay, so why the difference in land? Is this one pressed up through the crust?
No, the rock below, the flat stuff, is actually much younger. This is the bottom of an ancient marine sea. So this is the old shore, if you like.
Oh, I see.
And that's the old sea bottom.
Okay.
So in a Bahamian sense, this would be like the slopes of the islands, and that would be like the base of the sea. But obviously not like the tongue of the ocean, which is much deeper.
Yes.
And on a clear day, I mean it is clear today, but there's mist, you can actually see about 100 kilometers from here.
What's way up the river?
And so way up the river is, this is called the Ottawa Valley. We're looking up the Ottawa Valley. Way up the river are a variety of small towns. Most of them came into existence in the days of the lumbering industry about 100 to 150 years ago. Before that it was fur traders that used to ply this river, bringing furs from initially locally and then further and further away until ultimately we're bringing furs from considerable distances by canoe.
And Ottawa is actually around the corner?
And Ottawa is beyond there, and when we go next, when we stop briefly at that view, it's been explored for years. Polar ice, mountain ice. I've drilled through this.
That is the mountains we're looking at,
see,
and that's how much ice.
Meters, and this ice is 2,200 less 400, so it's 1,800 meters thick, almost 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers thick of ice.
And here's the big lake after the ice melted, you see?
And did it burst out? They talk about there being a great flood.
Yes, there were a number of floods.
It took 4,000 years to melt.
About, yes.
Somewhere in that.
Right.
And what if it affected the rest of the world as it rushed out?
Oh yes, it affected global climate.
I don't mean climate, I mean global sea levels.
Yes.
All of a sudden the ocean would have just come up higher.
Yes, definitely affected global sea levels. They started to rise quickly.
And could it have anything to do with biblical stuff about the great floods?
No, that's something separate. There's evidence of the biblical floods from earthquakes and volcanoes in the central and north central Mediterranean that caused slumps into the water, into the ocean, and in the Mediterranean caused huge tidal waves that became tsunamis and swept across the east end of the Mediterranean.
What about the Mediterranean being separated from the ocean at one time?
Yes, it has been, because when the sea level drops, it dropped below the level of the gap between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean. So and because of that, the heat that was present, it allowed the Mediterranean to basically dry out.
And then when it did come in,
it flooded.
Did it? Yeah, but it happened all at once?
Well, yeah, being fairly all at once in a geological sense. I mean,
But were
From-
people around then?
Humanoids would have been around, not Homo sapiens, but certainly our ancestors.
Oops.
City and 20 minutes away.
You can't make out the Capitol buildings, can you?
No, you can't see the downtown core. This is the west end of the city. This is the area where I was yesterday. Remember I had this meeting that I was at? I was PreCambrian, so